Hey guys, welcome back to Anti-Hedge. Today we're going to be talking about Solana and how the network has been plagued with crashes. If you like this kind of content, you should definitely stay till the end. Like, comment, subscribe because it really helps us. And check out some of our other videos. You might learn something new. But before we continue, I just got to say this is not financial advice. We don't accept liabilities for the losses that you might incur, and everything here is strictly for news and research purposes. So with that in mind, let's move forward. Solana suffers its 7th outage in 2022 as bots invade the network. That's not something you're going to want to see. It's not a good sign. NFT minting bots on Solana contributed to over 4 million transactions per second, knocking the validators out of consensus and crashing the network for about 7 hours. Dang, yo. That's pretty fucking horrible. That's not something you want to see, especially for something that's been touted as the Ethereum killer. Clearly, the only thing it's killing is itself. So that's not really a good sign. It's definitely scary for a lot of Solana holders. It's one of the reasons why I'm definitely weird about the project now, looking at it in the last, let's say, month and a half, 2 months. This is the 7th outage. This is the 7th outage in 2022. And it's not like we're halfway through the year. Like you know what I mean? Like we're still technically early in the year and we are 7th outage deep. That's pretty crazy. And now this is where I kind of wanted to get into a little bit more about this, right? So it had the 7-hour outage between Saturday and Sunday due to a large number of transactions for NFTs. We covered the 4 million transactions and how the validators got knocked out. Here's the other thing that was very weird is the fact that this isn't the first one, and I have a feeling it's not necessarily going to be the last. More or less, it starts by bots hoarding a popular application called Candy Machine, and through that, it basically allows them to abuse that specific application on the network, which creates this whole crash. That's pretty bad. They decided to fight those bots by basically implementing a 0.01 Solana fee, or 89 cents at the time of writing, to basically charge wallets to attempt invalid transactions, which is usually done by bots who are just clicking the mint button a million times to try and get the first drop. Now, I mean, that's a good attempt to stop it, but the problem is there's a larger problem associated with Solana now. It's no longer just about, oh, the bots got lucky one time. It's like, no, this is a consistent security risk to the network. And it's not just for this. It's going to go a bit deeper. I'm going to cover that now. Then they had another outage, right? This was between January 6th and 12th. So it was a few times. And the network was plagued with issues and partial outages between 8 and 18 hours. The high compute transaction caused a reduction in the network capacity to several thousand, which is a lot lower than the 50,000 that they're always advertising and talking about how they could do so much. Well, judging by the looks of it, it doesn't matter if you could do 50,000 transactions per second if your network can't even hold itself together. That's a major issue, especially if you're trying to take Ethereum's market cap. So Ethereum might be slow, but it seems to be working. Whereas this could be fast, but it's not working. So weigh out your pros and cons. There's a reason why institutional investors are still choosing ETH over Solana. In January too, they had 29 hours of consecutive downtime between the 21st and the 22nd with excessive duplicate transactions. That's a lot. Duplicate transactions. The second there's double spending in the network, it's done. The network is no longer stable. It's not something you could trust because it's just constantly double spending. Like for me, the more I read this article, and this is a great article because it covers a lot of the different crashes that happen, it goes to show you that Solana isn't anywhere near close to being finished, and it's not going to be an Ethereum killer if it can't solve these problems. You go by a little bit further, right? So now it's clear that there's a plague of issues. This is another one too. In 2021, in September, Solana was hit with another major outage for 17 hours, which basically caused a denial of service on the DEX because bots were spamming it at 400,000 pings per second, so to speak, or transactions per second. And then, you know, like it's not a good look. And it just goes to show that Solana is kind of undoing itself as it's going, right? So it's under a notable amount of, let's say, deaths. Like, it just keeps dying. The network can't handle what it's being paid to do, right? Or what it's trying to do. What this comes down to is what in total it's 100 hours, over 100 hours that Solana has been offline. It's not a good look for something that wants to become a globalized currency and platform. That's definitely food for thought. After reading about this, it definitely changes my perspective on Solana a lot. It makes me a lot less bullish on it. And it makes me realize that just because something gains hype doesn't necessarily mean that we could trust it. And I'm gonna more or less wrap up this video to say is, I saw Solana at under $1. I didn't buy because I forgot to buy. Then I watched it fly up to $180. As a trader, I regret that. But one thing I could say is I'm glad I didn't FOMO in at 180, because after looking at this article, it makes me lose confidence in what Solana is actually capable of doing. I might have missed the big trade, but at least I didn't catch the FOMO and the tail end of a, 10,000% pump from $1, something like that. On that note, guys, if you stay till the end, thank you so much. We appreciate your viewership. Definitely leave a like, comment, subscribe, and check out some of our other content. Take care.